Negotiation skills are very important for purchasers. Salespeople receive on average more than 10 times that of the purchasing professional. And this isn't just training in negotiation techniques, but today many salespeople receive training in things like body language, psychology, even how they can use language to lead us in a certain way. So as purchasers, we can easily be at a disadvantage here. Purchasing professionals need strong negotiation skills, but there is one more dimension that is around the typical personalities that we find in buying roles. You see, salespeople are often quite driven. They're outgoing people, very competitive individuals. Usually they have a will to win. After all, those are the traits that land the deals, and these traits naturally make good negotiators. But in a purchasing context, we find a different mix of personalities. So we need to understand this difference and be able to tailor our approach accordingly. The secret of success for any negotiation lies in our alternatives. If we have no alternatives, then we have no power. But by having alternatives, we can create power. Alternatives can take many forms, but having an alternative changes our entire approach to a negotiation. Imagine that we were going to negotiate to buy a car. Then an alternative might be simply having another car that we could go and buy if we don't get the deal that we seek. In business negotiations, we also need a bit more structure here. So we need a process to plan our negotiation. We need to match our personality to the negotiation and the way we need our very own repertoire of tactics and techniques that we can deploy as we go to move towards the outcome we need. So the essence of negotiation is, in fact, about process, personality, and repertoire, and of course, always having an alternative. Cultural differences in negotiation can simply mean our efforts will fail unless we can understand these differences and adapt our style accordingly. There's actually a lot of misinformation on this topic, and that suggests that what we need here is just to avoid simple gestures, to greet people in a certain way, perhaps to hand business cards over in a particular way. This is correct, but these are actually the small things, because the real cultural difference comes in our different personal attitudes to life. In our culture, we're generally quite individualistic people. Our individual wealth, success, and betterment drives everything we do. In other, more collective cultures, people are completely driven by what is right for the group, perhaps the company, the tribe, the caste, and so on. This drives entirely different behavior, perhaps to preserve face for others, or not risking making any sorts of decisions that might affect the group, and so on. We have to understand the underpinning cultural drivers before we can negotiate, as our entire approach will need to be designed with this in mind. Our personalities are pretty much given from birth. We are who we are. However, we can change our behaviors. Personality and behavior play a really important part in negotiation. And if we need to conduct a hard, leveraged negotiation, but we're the sort of people that, sort of person that doesn't like to upset others, or perhaps finds it difficult not to be assertive, then we're not suited to that negotiation. However, with self-awareness of who we are, we can match our personalities to the type of negotiation we're doing, and then we have a choice. If there is a gap between our natural style and that's what is needed for the negotiation, then we can either find someone else or we can act. And negotiation is all about acting. The more proficient we get, the better our performance. But we need to know who we are at first in order to know how to adapt our style.